She thought he was protective, until he started controlling her clothes, her friends, even her thoughts. But when she found the courage to walk away, he didn't let go. He followed her into the shadows. Now it's not just about heartbreak. It's about survival, freedom, and finding real love again. This is not just a story. It's a reality for millions, and it might just be yours too. Watch till the end, because healing doesn't come easy, but it always starts with a choice. The summer sun glinted off the Chicago skyline as Emily Carson stepped out of the subway station, brushing her chestnut brown hair behind her ears. She was 23, fresh out of college, and recently hired as a graphic designer at a boutique ad agency. Her days were now filled with color palettes, font selections, and big dreams. And at the center of her world was Liam Cross. He wasn't her first boyfriend, but he was the one who swept her off her feet the fastest. With his jet black hair, gym-toned frame, and perfectly timed compliments, Liam made her feel special. When they met at a friend's birthday party 6 months ago, he had eyes only for her. And for a while, that attention felt intoxicating. But lately, the compliments had begun to fade, and the criticism had taken their place. Emily entered her apartment and kicked off her shoes. She had plans to meet her best friend Kayla at a new rooftop bar that night. It was girls' night, just drinks, music, and catching up. She tried on a burgundy dress that hugged her curves but fell just below the knees. Classy, elegant, and totally her vibe. She took a mirror selfie and sent it to Liam with a text. "What do you think?" "Ah," he replied within seconds. "That's what you're wearing out. Who are you trying to impress?" Emily frowned. "It's just for Kayla's birthday. We're going to that rooftop place. Do you like it?" The typing bubble popped up, then disappeared. A minute later. "Change. You don't need that kind of attention. You have a boyfriend. You should dress like it." Her stomach turned. It wasn't the first time he'd made a comment like this. A few weeks ago, he said her jeans were too tight for public. Before that, it was about her lipstick shade being too suggestive. Still, Emily reached back into her closet and picked a looser cardigan to drape over the dress. She didn't want to fight. Not tonight. At the bar, Kayla immediately noticed. "Girl, why are you covering that dress with a sweater in this heat? It's 90 degrees up here." Emily laughed it off. "I wasn't sure about it." Kayla narrowed her eyes. "Wasn't sure? Or Liam wasn't sure?" Emily paused. Kayla had been skeptical of Liam from the start. "Just be careful," she had said early on. Control can sometimes wear the disguise of love, but Emily didn't want to hear that then. And part of her didn't want to hear it now. Later that night, back home, Liam called. "Did you wear the cardigan?" he asked without saying hello. Emily nodded, even though he couldn't see her. "Yeah, good," he said. "I don't want other guys staring at what's mine." There was something about that phrase, "what's mine," that made Emily's throat tighten. But Liam's voice quickly softened. "You know, I just want what's best for us, right? You're beautiful. I just don't want people disrespecting you with their eyes." Emily forced a small smile. "I get it," he sighed. "I love you, sleep tight." Over the next few weeks, Liam's comments became more frequent. One morning, Emily wore a pale yellow blouse with a bow tie neck to work. Liam commented, "Why do you need to look that cute at the office? Are there guys there?" Another time, she wore gym leggings to go jogging with Kayla. Liam showed up unannounced, claiming he was in the neighborhood, and just happened to bring her sweatpants in case she needed something more appropriate. It wasn't just the clothes. He started commenting on who she followed on Instagram. He asked her to unfollow her male coworkers. Then he insisted she turn off her location sharing with Kayla. For safety, he claimed. Emily started to feel like she was being slowly erased. One Friday, her agency announced a semi-formal gala to celebrate their biggest campaign of the year. Emily was excited. It was a big milestone for her first project launch. She spent hours picking out a navy blue dress, elegant with just a hint of sparkle, and even booked a professional makeup session. She told Liam about it a week in advance. "That sounds a little too glamorous," he said. "It's my work gala," Emily replied. "Everyone's dressing up," he sighed. "I don't like it." "I don't want you going." Emily stared at him over FaceTime. "You can come with me if you want. Be my plus one. I don't want to be around a bunch of people who don't respect our relationship," he replied. It's a work function, Liam, not a club. He leaned in toward the camera. I'm asking you not to go. And just like that, her chest felt heavy again. She'd earned this night. She'd worked for it. Why did it feel like she had to choose between her boyfriend and her career? She didn't answer right away. Liam's voice softened. If you loved me, you'd understand. I just don't want to lose you to some flashy job or smooth-talking boss. That night, she cried in the shower. But she also made a decision. She would go. When the night of the gala arrived, Emily slipped into her dress with trembling fingers. Her reflection stared back at her, nervous but proud. Kayla met her at the venue. You look incredible, she said. Emily smiled. Thanks. I just hope I'm doing the right thing. Wearing a dress to your own work event is not betrayal, Kayla said. It's self-respect. Emily tried to believe it. As she walked into the venue, Liam's messages started coming in. Did you go? You actually went? I can't believe you disrespect me like this. Don't bother texting me back. She turned off her phone. Inside the gala, she was glowing. She shook hands with senior designers, got compliments from the director, and even received a mention during the toast. It felt like everything she'd worked for was finally being seen. And for once, she didn't feel small. But that peace wouldn't last long. When she returned home, Liam was waiting outside her apartment. His arms were crossed, his jaw tight. Having fun playing dress-up for strangers? He asked, voice sharp. Emily's heart pounded. What are you doing here? I needed to see for myself. See how easily you can forget who you belong to. I don't belong to anyone, she replied, voice shaking. You do if you're with me, he snapped. Something inside Emily cracked. For months, she had told herself that his jealousy came from love, that his control was care. But tonight, under the moonlight, she saw it clearly. This wasn't love. This was control. And it had to end. Emily stood frozen on the sidewalk, her keys clutched tightly in her hand, as Liam's words echoed in her mind. You do if you're with me. That single sentence had shattered whatever illusion of love she had been holding on to. Her breath quickened, her palms damp. Her once safe apartment now felt like the edge of a cliff. Liam, she said, trying to keep her voice steady. You need to go. He stepped forward, lowering his voice but keeping the edge. We're not done talking. Yes, she said, unlocking the door. We are. You crossed a line. You're being dramatic, he snapped. You ignored me, disrespected me. I came here to fix this. She looked him in the eye. You came here to control me. Liam's face hardened. You've changed. No, she said quietly. I just finally see you for who you are. She stepped inside and shut the door. He knocked once, twice, then left. The silence that followed wasn't peace. It was fear mixed with relief. That night, Emily barely slept. Her mind replayed every red flag she had ignored. The time he scrolled through her messages while pretending to cuddle. The time he made her cry over a dress. The time he told her she was too pretty to trust. And every time she had said, he's just being protective. She sat up in bed, grabbed her phone, and opened a new note. Liam's rules. She began writing them down, one by one, as if confronting them on paper would make them real. Can't wear crop tops. Can't post selfies. Can't go out without asking. Can't follow male coworkers. Must text back within 5 minutes. Must avoid talking about exes. Must ask before buying clothes. By the time she reached 20, she stopped. She was crying, but not just from sadness. From rage. From how long she had let it happen. The next morning, she blocked his number. Emily tried to move forward. She focused on work, started going out with Kayla Moore, and even signed up for a Saturday yoga class. Slowly, she was regaining the pieces of herself she had lost. But Liam didn't stay gone for long. Blocked from her phone, he began showing up at her workplace, near her gym, once even outside her apartment again, holding flowers. I miss us, he said, voice soft. There is no us anymore, she replied, her voice firmer now. You're really going to throw everything away over a few arguments? He asked, his smile faltering. No. I'm walking away because you wanted to own me, not love me. He didn't smile again. The final straw came 2 weeks later. Emily received a large envelope in the mail with no return address. Inside were printed screenshots of her photos, her outfits, and comments Liam had circled in red ink with notes like, "This is what you post when you're supposed to be mine. No wonder people stare. I told you this dress was a problem." It was meant to scare her. And it did. She went straight to the police. With Kayla at her side, she filed a harassment report. It wasn't easy. There were tears, doubts, and the fear that it wouldn't be taken seriously. But the female officer on duty listened carefully. "You're not overreacting," she said. "This is emotional abuse, and now it's bordering on stalking. You did the right thing." Emily left the station with shaking hands, but for the first time in months, she felt powerful. Weeks passed. The report kept Liam away, but the emotional scars remained. Every time she opened her closet, she heard his voice in her head. Every time she looked in the mirror, she questioned if her outfit was too much, but she pushed through. Therapy helped. So did journaling. And one sunny afternoon, so did a complete wardrobe overhaul. She donated every outfit she'd once hidden because of him. She bought new clothes, not to impress anyone, but to reclaim herself. Emily looked in the mirror wearing a vibrant sundress and whispered, "I decide what I wear. No one else." At a work lunch one day, Emily's creative director offered her a new opportunity, a lead designer spot on a high-profile campaign. "You've shown strength and maturity that goes beyond your years," she said. "You've got something special." Emily blinked back tears. For the first time, someone saw her, really saw her, not just for how she looked, but for who she was. She accepted the position. That evening, she and Kayla toasted with iced coffees at their favorite cafe. "You've come a long way," Kayla said. "I almost didn't," Emily admitted. "I thought love meant giving up parts of myself. Turns out, real love doesn't ask that of you." Kayla raised her cup to knowing the difference. That weekend, Emily posted a photo on Instagram, a radiant selfie in her new sundress, no filter, no shame. The caption read, "Freedom looks good on me." Life was finally moving forward for Emily. With Liam gone, the air around her felt lighter, the world wider. She had her new role at the agency, a sense of peace in her apartment, and the freedom to choose what to wear, where to go, and who to be. But even when someone leaves your life, the damage they cause sometimes lingers like smoke after a fire. One morning, as Emily sipped her coffee and scrolled through emails, a familiar name stopped her breath. Liam Cross. Not in her inbox. Not in her messages. But in a LinkedIn notification. "Liam Cross viewed your profile." Her hands went cold. It wasn't illegal. It wasn't even direct contact. But it was a reminder. He was still watching. Quietly, from a distance. Like a shadow just outside the light. She closed the app and pressed her fingers to her temples. Maybe it meant nothing. Maybe it was curiosity. Or maybe it was a warning. She told Kayla that night. "He's still trying to keep control," Kayla said. "You're doing amazing. Don't let his ghost hold you back." Emily nodded. "I won't. Not again." The agency was preparing for a major pitch to a luxury skincare brand. Emily was tasked with designing the presentation slides, product mock-ups, and the mood board. It was her biggest solo responsibility yet. She threw herself into it, working late, skipping social media, and focusing on success. The day before the pitch, she stayed in the office until nearly midnight. When she finally walked out into the quiet Chicago streets, her phone buzzed. No name. Just a number. One she didn't recognize. She opened the message. "Nice blazer. That color suits you better than the dress from the gala." Her heart nearly stopped. She whipped around, eyes scanning the empty sidewalks. No one. Nothing but streetlights and the sound of distant traffic. Another message buzzed in. "Don't panic. Just wanted to say hi. You've always looked your best when you weren't trying so hard." Emily ran. She didn't stop until she reached her apartment door. Hands shaking, she locked every bolt and drew the curtains. Then she blocked the number and reported it. But fear had already slipped back in. The next morning, she told her creative director, Marcia, everything. The toxic relationship, the breakup, the harassment, even the police report. Marcia listened, then placed a gentle hand on Emily's shoulder. "You don't owe anyone silence about your trauma. If you need time, take it. If you need help, ask." And if you need security at tomorrow's pitch, I'll make it happen." Emily blinked away sudden tears. For so long, she'd felt like this was her burden to bear alone. But hearing someone say you're not alone changed everything. "No," she said. "I'm ready." The pitch day arrived. Emily wore a tailored lavender pantsuit, powerful, polished, and completely her own choice. When she walked into the boardroom with her laptop and presentation clicker, she didn't flinch. She didn't doubt. She took up space. The presentation went smoothly. The client nodded with interest, asked questions, and complimented her creativity. When the meeting ended, Emily excused herself to the restroom and stared at her reflection. She didn't see a scared girl anymore. She saw a survivor, a professional, a woman who had walked through emotional warfare and emerged stronger. Later that week, as she walked home from work, her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. But this time, instead of fear, she felt something new. Anger. She opened the message. "Still pretending you're something you're not?" This time, she took a screenshot. Then she forwarded it to the officer she'd spoken to months earlier. She followed up with a restraining order application and security footage request from the office building. Marcia backed her up. The officer called her later that evening. "You've done everything right, Emily. And we're escalating this now. If he reaches out again, he'll be facing charges." Emily thanked him. Then she sat down in her apartment and let the tears come. Not from fear, from relief. A few weeks passed. No texts, no calls, no messages. And then an email. But not from Liam. From the skincare brand she had pitched to. They were choosing her agency and specifically requested that Emily lead their branding. She laughed and cried at the same time. Everything she had fought for, the freedom, the career, the self-worth, it was finally becoming real. One Saturday, she joined Kayla for brunch in a sunlit cafe downtown. Emily wore a floral blouse, gold hoops, and her favorite red lipstick. Kayla grinned. "Look at you. You've got your glow back. I feel like myself again," Emily said. Or maybe, for the first time, Kayla raised her glass. To that, as they ate, Kayla asked, "If Liam showed up again today, what would you say?" Emily smiled softly. "Nothing. He doesn't deserve words. He deserves my silence." Kayla nodded. That's power. And it was. Emily wasn't hiding anymore. She wasn't dressing for approval or walking on eggshells. She wasn't afraid of the mirror or of the messages. She was free. Months passed. Spring turned into summer, and the weight Liam had once placed on Emily's shoulders no longer held her down. Her days were now filled with strategy meetings, creative briefs, solo coffee runs, and spontaneous dinners with friends. Every now and then, she'd still check over her shoulder, but less and less often. Liam had vanished from her life completely. No messages, no appearances, no new numbers. She had finally won. But healing didn't mean forgetting. Healing meant choosing peace every single day. And one of those choices, she wasn't going to let Liam ruin the idea of love. Not forever. One warm Friday evening, her coworker invited her to a small rooftop mixer, just a handful of agency people and friends of friends. Emily almost declined. She hadn't dated in a while. She wasn't ready to open that door. But then she thought, this isn't about romance. It's about reclaiming joy. So she went. And that's where she met Noah. He was standing near the string lights, talking about a mural project he was working on in a low-income neighborhood. His smile was calm, his voice grounded. He didn't talk over people. He didn't dominate the room. He just was. Later, when Emily went to refill her drink, he offered her the last of the lemonade. "You sure?" she asked. "I'm sure," he smiled. "You look like you've had a long week," she laughed. "That obvious?" "No," he said. "That human." They talked for an hour. Then 2. About music, books, architecture, childhood dreams. He didn't ask why she was single. He didn't comment on her outfit. He didn't play games. Before leaving, he said, "It was really great talking to you. Would it be all right if I asked for your number?" Emily hesitated for a second. Old fear knocked quietly, but she took a breath and handed him her phone. "Sure," she said. but only if you're the kind of guy who's okay with me wearing crop tops in public." He blinked, then laughed. "I'm the kind of guy who thinks you should wear whatever makes you happy." And just like that, the ice melted. Their first date was coffee at a bookstore. Their second was a street art tour he'd volunteered to guide. By the third, Emily knew this felt different. Noah was gentle, kind, curious. He didn't invade her privacy. He didn't tell her who to be. He celebrated it. Still, one night, as they walked along the Riverwalk, Emily paused. "There's something I need to tell you," she said. She told him everything. About Liam, the control, the messages, the fear, and how hard she had fought to build herself back. Noah didn't interrupt once. When she finished, he placed a hand over hers. "I don't think you're broken," he said. "I think you're brave." Her eyes filled. "I just never want to go back to that place." "You won't," he said. "Not with me." And he meant it. 6 months later, Emily stood in front of her full-length mirror, wearing a short, glittery dress and stroppy heels. Her shoulders were bare, her smile effortless. No one had told her to change. No one had commented. She chose it. For herself. Noah stepped into the room, whistling. "You look incredible," he said. "You sure it's not too much?" she teased. "I'd be lying if I said I wasn't proud to walk beside you," he grinned. "But if you wore pajamas, I'd still feel the same." She kissed him softly. Then they headed out to a gallery event she was co-hosting, where one of Noah's murals was being featured. Later that night, as they danced under hanging lights and city stars, Emily looked around the room and breathed in the life she had rebuilt. She had once believed that love came with rules, sacrifice, and silence. Now she knew the truth. Real love doesn't control. It supports. It doesn't shrink you. It sees you. And it never, ever tells you what to wear.